South Africans value the work that they do. They want to do it to the best of their ability.
It's what's so great about Australia. It's not just an opportunity for Afrikaners.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for South Africans.
The difference between what a teacher earns in Australia in comparison to South Africa is like chalk and cheese. There's an X factor about South Africans where they get the job done and get the job done well. If you come into the table and you've got the right skill set, you've got the right mindset, irrelevant of the color of your skin, you'll be accepted.
People that studied for 4 years and want something better than just a 9 to 5, month to month paycheck.
There's such a demand for South African qualified professionals.
It's almost like there's a massive stress off their shoulders. They can actually live.
And they're like, wow, we've actually got money to put fuel in the car.
Yeah.
So in today's episode of the Arrival Lounge, we meet with Louis from Hopping Down to Oz. We are discussing a couple of points with regards to the vacancies that we've got available, the requirements that most candidates need in applying for jobs in Australia, and then finally discussing the new and exciting websites and platform that Hopping Down to Oz has created for job seekers in Australia. We look forward to it. Louis, thanks again for your time and the opportunity to discuss opportunities, more so for South Africans wanting to go over to Australia. And I want to start off by...
Wait. We need to start off. Why are you sitting in an insane asylum? What's on those walls?
Yeah, I've taken off my stray jacket just for the sake of this meeting. I'm going to be getting my pills in the next 45 minutes from now. So I've got about 45 minutes of sobriety with you.
That's it, man.
Yeah, so we've, as you know, many families that are based in Wodonga, the three families that you have, given you opened your doors to. But when we started the immigration process, it opened up a lot of opportunities for these applicants and these families to not only move to Australia, but it opened up an opportunity for us to connect with businesses in Australia. Now, when we started the recruitment thing, because we built such a great relationship with the families from the get-go, we wanted to see that through till the time they get citizenship. And you connect with them so well, and you speak to their kids, and you understand from one parent to another why they're making this move. Most of these families are making the move for their kids. And it as a parent myself, it's so awesome to connect with families that are in Australia, what they're doing, where they're going, what they're doing over the weekends, how their kids are doing, how sports going or extramural activities. And that brings me great joy as a parent. That this is pushing business aside and all of that. You do something for the passion of it. I think you should be doing that. But in connection with families that are in Australia, and you see how the kids grow, and you see how they adapt, and
what I've seen and what I've heard is that the relationships between the parents and the kids have improved. It's almost like there's such a massive bunch of stress off their shoulders. They can actually live. Like the Pretorius family, they actually go to sporting events with their kids. They actually go to outings with their kids, and as a family do so much stuff together. They can't remember doing such stuff when they were back in South Africa, because it was always working. It was
a rat race.
School. Yeah, always a rat race. So it just feels like our other friends, Justin and Melissa, they have so much time to spend with their kids. It's just so amazing. You see that family growing, and the outings, everything. It just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so exciting. the family aspect of the people that have come over, the families that have come over, is just so great. It's just awesome.
It's incredible you say that, because I spoke with Adrian Delport, and we actually did a small little podcast together as well. And he was saying that in South Africa, because of the stress and the amount of work and the hours that he's been working over a course of a week, if it was maybe even 6 or 7 days of work in 1 week, which is mind blowing. But he says in South Africa, when he gets home, he'd be on the couch, tired. He doesn't want to speak to anyone. He wants to watch Netflix or just wants to chill, because he's no gutful. In Australia, he's going to have so much more time with his kids, where he wants to take them to parks and ride bicycle, go fishing, and things that he didn't necessarily do in South Africa.
Yeah. You see, it's not, it is not the case for everybody in South Africa that don't have that quality of life.
Yes.
Obviously. But there were, I remember when I was there, I worked 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Sure.
Sometimes late at night. And the same thing, when I got home, I was just on the couch and just didn't want to go out on family gatherings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's just some of us, not all of us like that. But it's almost, when we hear, me and Lona have a social life like unbelievable compared to that we had in South Africa. If we want to drive 350 kilometers to go visit friends in Bairnsdale, we drive. It's nice. Just don't have the worry to do it.
Yeah.
You also have enough money for petrol to do it.
Sure.
Never had.
That's exactly what Riet said when they travel and go out and about on the weekends and take their daughters out, and they're like, wow, we've actually got money to put fuel in the car.
Yeah, that was the point that I would make, because to be in South Africa and throw in 400 rands worth of petrol, it's a freaking lot of money. You feel it. It's $30 to $40, and you do the same thing. You don't really feel it.
Sure.
Just the ratio of money you make and what you need to spend to do stuff like that is just so much better.
Yeah. They've got a lot more disposable income.
Yeah, so much more affordable. Yeah, you can. You can go with $100, which is a third of a day's pay. You can drive to Melbourne and back.
That's crazy.
Which is 700 kilometers. So
it's
it sounds amazing. It is. It really is amazing. Yes.
No, it is, absolutely. And apart from the families that are in Australia, just touching on a few of the positions that we've actually got in Australia, and a lot of the viewers that have approached us from hopping down to Oz. In fact, we've got a speech pathologist on our books now. That's her husband, who's got an agricultural background, and their daughter, which is about 2 years old. They're going through the immigration process with us now. So we're so excited for them to get to Cairns, which is north of the northern part of Queensland, which and we've got vacancies for speech pathologists, and we're always looking for great South African speech pathologists. There's such a demand for South African qualified professionals, and you obviously know why.
Yes.
And then butchers, we've got a lot of vacancies for butchers throughout Victoria. We've partnered with a few butcheries and abattoirs that are looking for South African butchers. They're not looking for anyone else but South Africans, so they're quite persistent on that.
maybe you must explain why South Africans. I know the answer.
Yep. So
I know the answer.
It's always an interesting conversation, because they want to be politically correct when they explain this as employers. But to cut a long story short, when you come from South Africa and the hardship that you go through, as we just explained now, the working hours, the dedication you put to work, and I think South Africans value the work that they do. They want to do it to the best of their ability. Not to say that
Yeah.
the rest of the world doesn't do that, but there's an X factor about South Africans where they get the job done and they get the job done well, as opposed to just getting it done willy-nilly, and then if it's not done, they can procrastinate and deal with it in 2 weeks' time. They get the job done. And apart from that, is that they hold themselves accountable for anything that's done at work. If there's a mistake at work, they'll be accountable for it. Unlike, unfortunately, other nationalities, and I'm not going to put a blanket over this, but they're not very accountable for things that go, I wouldn't say wrong, but they take accountability, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also when it comes to their commitment to the job, when you're coming from a first world country, these nationalities have the comfort knowing that there's so many jobs available, they'll job hop from one employer to the other. Where in South Africa, because there's not many
Yeah,
opportunities
we
available.
sit in one job for 30 years.
100%. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah,
as you've
yeah,
seen in Australia, a lot of job hopping takes place amongst the locals, amongst the British,
yeah,
amongst a lot of your first world nationalities. But when it comes to a South African, they stick to the job, and well, at
yeah.
least a lot of them stick to the job. They commit to it. They get the job done, and they come with a skill set that's in high demand.
Yeah. I wanna touch on something very quickly.
Mm,
People watching this and people watching our videos, we do get messages, people asking us, yeah, do we only help white people, and is
mm,
Australia only for white people?
mm,
Australia is for everybody.
mm, mm,
I've met uh, uh, black people.
mm.
Where's that guy? This guy's from Zimbabwe.
Mm.
We interviewed him actually. That
Sure.
guy's settling in perfectly with his family. A friend of ours, just in the town next to us, is a colored guy.
Mm,
He said he has never felt like a different, what you call it, ethnicity
mm.
than the people he works for.
Mm.
That's what's so great about Australia. It's not just an opportunity for Afrikaners,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity for South Africans. And we're all what, 14 different languages of
Yes.
us. Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
a good topic because when I recruit for businesses, I want to understand their acceptance amongst multiple nationalities. I mean, as an
Yeah.
example, the butchery that we've placed the three butchers at, there you've got guys from Samoa, Tonga, the Philippines,
China,
China,
China.
so you've got such a different and diverse cultural background, and it's accepted. At the end of the day, to the viewers that may or may not know this, Australia is built on immigrants. From the beginning of days of Australia, it was built on immigrants, and they
Yeah,
thrive off of skilled migrants. If you come into the
yeah.
table and you've got the right skill set, you've got the right mindset, irrelevant of the color of your skin, you'll be accepted.
That that is what is so nice about it. For instance, have a foreman. One of my bosses is a guy from the Philippines,
Mm,
and it has never been an effort, a issue.
mm,
I know I've worked in South Africa. We worked in South Africa for 20 plus years, and there's always that cultural issue.
mm, mm.
Australia does not have that. It's fantastic. It just feels so much less pressure in a workplace as well.
Yes.
That's not there.
Absolutely. And you can thrive. You can thrive on your passions. I mean, I've got many teachers in South Africa that were worried about that. I've got Kenyan teachers out in Nairobi that I have placed in Victoria, regional Queensland, different parts of New South Wales. And coming from Nairobi, they were very worried about whether or not they'd be accepted into schools in
Yeah,
Australia. And I contact them, I speak to them regularly, and they're thriving. The racial
yeah.
aspects is not an issue as what it was back in Africa.
That's very, very nice and very important that people know that.
Mm,
Yes.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we've because of the demand for teachers, we've managed to connect with a little over 370 schools. I think to date we've got about 374 schools on our books that are actively
Yeah,
looking for teachers throughout the course of the year. So we are always looking for top quality primary school teachers that are teaching multiple
yeah,
subjects, English teachers, French teachers, and then from high school teachers, we are looking for different types of teachers. I mean, we've got woodwork, we've got IT teachers that are in demand that we're looking to place. We've got visual arts, drama teachers, French teachers, and then, of course, your STEM qualified teachers. These are really, really good and of high,
yeah,
they're sought after. So, science, technology, engineering, maths. If any of your viewers have taught or currently teaching either of these subjects that I've mentioned, make contact with us because we've got a lot of opportunity. Beside the opportunity, these salaries are highly attractive. I mean, Lona as a teacher, she can vouch for this. The
yeah,
difference between what a teacher earns in Australia in comparison to South Africa is like chalk and cheese. You know that.
yeah. No, no, absolutely. And the quality of life is better. And not just that, your salary stretches so much faster. People tend to say Australia is expensive to live.
Mm,
It's not the case.
mm,
Your salary to expenses ratio is just so much better.
sure.
Um, it's very easier to live here. These people don't know hardship. They don't know what it is to struggle from month to month.
I think it's a very different and a difficult concept to think of, which you might have thought about that before you guys left. Living in South Africa, going through hardship, expenses increasing, salaries staying the same,
Yeah,
no increase or very little increase, and it's just not keeping up with the rate of how much things are increasing in on a day to day or on a monthly basis. And you think of
yeah.
how can life be better in another place, because I've lived with this for the last 30, 40, 50 years, whatever the case might be. I think it's a very difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp.
It is, and you know what? You've got so many organizations and people fighting for the worker.
Mm,
That's why the minimum wage in Australia is so high. Even with that minimum wage, I mean, an 18-year-old can walk into a job and have that minimum wage, and with his partner, can buy a house in a couple of years.
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't know what salary you need to make to be able to get a house loan in South Africa these days, and what small percentage of people can afford that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I live in Cape Town, which is relatively expensive. You have to
Yeah,
do quite a lot. You essentially need to hustle to make sure that you're grinding every single day to put food on the
yeah,
table and give your children the best
yeah,
opportunities and hopefully buy a house at some point. So you're 100%
yeah.
right. It's not cheap. Um,
That's why
yeah,
this option is just such a nice option. Australia, just as a nice option for the professional out there
mm,
looking for a better future for him and his kids. Why I'm saying professional, I'm saying like professional butchers, professional teachers, uh, people that studied for 4 years and want something better than just a 9 to 5, month to month paycheck.
mm, mm. I think that's
Yeah,
important. You need to have something that not only on a day to day in terms of work, but as someone said, I think it was Sean Skipper's Simon Skipper's husband actually mentioned there are countries where
yeah,
you work to live or work to live. And I think that's the big difference between South Africa and Australia. And I think anyone looking to do this, we touched on it on a podcast between you and Lona and I the other day. The schools that we're currently supplying teachers with, and the businesses that we're helping find millwrights, as well as a few other professionals such as electricians and plumbers, there's something that a candidate needs to complete from South Africa, and it's called a skills assessment. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what a skills assessment is, here's a quick breakdown of what it actually is. When you're applying,
what it is and who needs it.
yeah, good point. So when you're applying for jobs in Australia, the standards, especially health and safety and hygiene, is extremely high. And unfortunately, not all the other countries are the same. They don't have the same standards. They don't have the same hygiene standards. They don't have the same qualification standards. Now, the skills assessment that employers and the government require you to complete is to prove that your knowledge, your health and safety standards, and your qualifications are on par with their standards.
Yeah.
Right? Now, most of the professionals moving to Australia would be your blue collar professionals that require skills assessment. So blue collar being your artisans. There are a select few white collar professionals where we place a lot of teachers, as well as speech pathologists and nurses, where they require their qualification and work experience assessments to get done before a company can offer a job to them, because it's required. The same paperwork's required when they're registering as professionals in Australia. So the business doesn't want to go through an interview, start working with you to get your visa, paying for nomination, paying for sponsorship fees, and then get your registration done and get that declined, where you could have done your skills assessment to understand whether or not you're on par with Australian standards without having to waste time and money for the business.
That is the requirement from Australia. There's no way to get around it.
I wish there was. I really wish there was, because it would save everyone time, money, and so forth. But at the end of the day, look at it as an investment. You're going to need it for that as well as permanent residency. So consider it an investment.
Yeah, it needs to be done anyway. So
yeah. No, Louis, I want to say, mate, you've done an incredible job with not only your Facebook page, but the platform that you and Lona and your team have developed. It's incredible. Should we chat about that?
Yeah, let's do that. I really we're very excited about it. We've been working with Sean for quite a while now, quite a few months, and we've been helping them get in touch with what do you call it, potential applicants. And then we came up with the idea to put it on a website, and our new website is hop2oz.com.au. It's a recruitment website. You'll see, Sean, I think you have about 30 posts on there already.
Yeah, around about 30.
30 posts there available, and soon you're going to have your business details there as well as a service provider.
Yes. So
the idea of the website is just to link everyone. Now you have Facebook, you have Facebook pages, all different pages, but every single page caters for one person, either the admin who's advertising his own stuff, or a salesman selling one thing.
Yes.
Now this page brings all of that together. So you'll see New World Immigration posting all their stuff on there. So we're hoping to get a couple of 100,000 people on that website to see, and we're hoping to get you guys to get more posts on there, so we can get as many people connected with possible employers. We're still working on the website. It's changing every day. It's growing every day.
It's incredible. It's growing at an incredible rate.
Yeah, we're glad to see that you guys have jumped on it very quickly. I think if you hit the ground running on this thing and you grow with the website, it's just going to be awesome. Our main thing, me and Lona's main thing, was from the start to help South Africans, and this is going to help so many South Africans. We are very, very excited about it.
Louis, I mean, let's think about this. If you had this platform and had the opportunity of working with recruiters and so forth, I think it would have made your life a lot easier. So you
Yeah,
giving another family or multiple families from South Africa this platform, this opportunity,
yeah.
knowing that you had
Let's
gone through
make
it yourself.
let's make an example. When me and Lona was in South Africa still, we were trying to figure out where we're gonna find work.
Mm,
How's she gonna find work and all that. So you ask on the Facebook groups, let's not name them, and they send you one direction
mm,
and they send you another direction, but nobody ever sent us to the right direction.
sure.
And eventually we came at the right direction. Now, what this page is going to do, you're going to go up. Let's say you go up, you're a butcher, you're going to type in butcher, and right away, New World Immigration's butcher ad is going to be on there,
Yes.
and just so much easier. It just saves you looking all over the show and never finding what you're looking for. Now it's just going to be a straight connection between you and the recruiter. And also let's say I'm a job seeker. I'm looking for work in Australia. Where do I go? I have no idea. Go to the Facebook page. You're going to get all the recruiters with their positions available, and it's just so easy.
No, it is.
Straight connection with these guys. It saves me saying, speak to this guy, sending you from an Afrikaans to say bakboord to stuurboord.
Bullet to post.
All the info, yeah, all the info on one website. And
Yes.
it's the morning when Sean wakes up, he has his emails. Oh, he has 3 butchers looking for work. Boom, gotcha.
No, it's an incredible platform, and I look forward to seeing how this grows organically and how this grows with giving more and more families an opportunity, and also on the other end, Australian businesses an opportunity to get the best quality staff.
That was as soon as the platform went live. I got the message on Facebook Messenger, an electrician company looking for recruiters, and I put him in connection with you guys.
Yeah,
that's what the platform is doing. It's already working for itself. It's not just for you, the guy that's advertising. It's for the business in Australia, and we're connecting the people.
Yeah, no,
that's what's happening.
Everyone's benefiting from it.
Yeah, and possibly another 4 or 5 South African families coming over.
Absolutely.
That maybe lived in hardship in South Africa. Now they're going to have better lives.
No, it's incredible. It really is an incredible platform, and as I said, I look forward to seeing it grow organically, and we'll throw the kitchen sink at it from our end to help and let it grow. And looking forward to seeing how what comes of it over the next few weeks, Louis. But I really appreciate your time. I think Lona might be missing you there.
No, you know what? How busy we are. We get about 4 or 5 calls a day from random South Africans asking advice.
Yes.
And we get maybe I'm guessing about 10 or 12 voice notes, people asking us for advice. So we get so much people asking us for advice.
Sure.
We've never said, nah, I'm not list for you. We help the people. So I can hear her replying to somebody's voice note as we speak. So it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And again, this is just 2 boertjies from the Parel, that's doing all this. And it's just because before we came over, we asked God, put us in a position to help other people. That's what's happening.
And it's there, you know, and it's not just landed on your doorstep. There's a lot of hardship and work that you guys are putting into this, and it's so appreciated. It's so appreciated.
We have a guy. No, I'm not going to mention that. It's just we have put in so much. Our partner Steven has put in so much work. That guy is a freaking excellent. He's a monster. Been building this website, and we've been making suggestions and status changing and all that stuff. And the site will be changing constantly. And the South Africans are going to profit for it. Oh well, sorry, I didn't mention. We put this platform out for South Africans. We had a guy from Philippines inbox us. He wants to join the site. We have a guy from Ireland. We have people from all over the world checking out our website. But that's not really what it's for. But anyway.
You know, funny you say that. I've actually got two. I've got a guy who was based in Florida, and then another guy who was based in California. They are two nurses that came through you, hopping down to Oz. And these are Americans. These are Americans.
Yeah.
So not South Africans in America. These are Americans moving from the States to Australia.
That's what's going to happen, and that's what we see for this page as well. So we want you guys to stay on the page and keep advertising because it's going to be. I mean, you're going to have so many vacancies coming out. We want all of them on that site.
Yeah, no, sure, and hoping to fill each and every one of them with South Africans, Louis. So thanks again.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for all of this.
All right.
Man, have yourself an awesome evening.